righty.
Thank you.
Look at your clock so I can bring mine.
It's 5:45.
5:45.
Okay, 5:45 on August 26th. I will call the select board meeting to order. And I'll make a motion to go into non-public session under RSA 91A:32A.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Did you say yes?
Barry, yes?
Schiffer, yes.
Roberts, yes.
We are now in non-public at
5:45.
5:45.
Give me a minute to get Zoom set up. I don't know why the view on this changed. It used to be like you could see the waiting room as part of the, oh, maybe it's here?
At 6 o'clock, I make a motion to come out of non-public.
You have Zoom settings.
Roll call vote.
Did you say yes?
Barry, yes?
Schiffer, yes.
Roberts, yes.
We are now out of non-public, 6 o'clock. Couple of changes to the agenda.
Minutes.
Oh,
Sealed, not sealed.
oh, no, minutes are not sealed, thank you. A couple of changes to the agenda. The Tamworth Village Traffic Committee will give an update, and we have a few additions to the signature file. And now we are going to, I make a motion to go into, to open a public hearing to hear comments on the potential establishment of fees associated with the disposal of brush at the Tamworth Transfer Station. The proposed fees are $25 per truck bed, $35 per trailer, and $45 for both. Are there any comments on brush disposal? Yes?
So, quick question, just because I've been, talking to some folks, and was there a fee in the past for brush disposal in the town?
Boy, I don't remember one.
That I'm aware of.
You? I don't think so. I don't remember.
Because the question that's arisen is, if people have to pay to get rid of brush, I mean, does that brush end up other places other than at the transfer station? See what I'm saying?
Yeah, it might. I
Same
mean,
problem we have with tires.
same goes for tires and refrigerators,
But the chips? Are we-
No,
saying
just
that
the brush
people are
itself.
Dump it
Okay,
right
I
elsewhere.
didn't-
Yeah.
okay.
Is there any comment from the transfer station employees?
Regarding what? Whether or not-
Regard charging for?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense to charge. If we charge for everything else, the taxpayers are the only ones who are paying me to go over and chip the brush, so, you know what I'm saying? And as far as like people leaving brush, you could say that about everything. Because we charge for tires, people could leave tires, people could leave microwaves, people are gonna do that regardless, those people, those types of people.
Yeah, we have to own and maintain a chipper, and we have to pay someone to load the brush into the chipper. So,
Well, I was gonna ask about that also, the chipper, it's, expensive piece of equipment, and I guess, that chipper needs a lot of maintenance, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if that help offset, just so everybody understands that if there's gonna be a fee, this is what that money is.
Yeah, the fee would-
Is looking to offset
exactly,
labor and machinery,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot of labor to chip that brush.
Oh, I understand it, yeah.
So,
Yeah, and just to add,
Usually you have to come in on a day when we're closed, you know, to do the brush. You can't always operate while
Exactly,
it's
yeah.
open, so there's that.
So the guys are there, yep, doing that, yep, separately.
Any more comments regarding the brush disposal? Online?
I don't think so, so you folks would need to make a motion to
Close.
approve these, yeah.
Oh, yeah, so I make a motion to approve these fees.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Did you say yes?
Fair, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Robert, yes.
Okay. And now I make a motion to close the public hearing regarding brush disposal.
Did you set all the fees?
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess we need to go through the voting.
Second. Schaefer seconds.
I did.
Oh, you did?
But you just motioned to close, I just,
Yeah, okay, all right. Roll call vote.
Did you say yes?
Fair, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Robert, yes.
All right, that one's done.
6:04.
And now I'm gonna open a public hearing to hear comments on the proposed renewal of a franchise agreement between the town of Tamworth and Charter Communications. We have to do this as part of the agreement with Charter. We need to legally hold this public hearing in order to renew the contract. So that's why we're doing it.
Any comments?
Yes, Mark?
So the agreement you have with Charter, that's a multi-year agreement? Are you locked into that agreement, but it has to be like okayed every year? Is that what the deal is? Or are you shopping brand new and you're just looking to continue on with Charter, or?
Yeah, there's been no other, agencies coming forward, so it's our standard renewal contract with Charter. The town gets a 2% kickback from their accounts. So,
Okay, so there was an effort by the town to reach out to different purveyors of this service, and nobody's come
So, I don't
back
think-
offering pricing or anything
right,
that?
we're not legally obligated to go seek more franchises, but we are obligated to hold a public hearing to see if anybody has issues with our current contract before we renew it.
Well, the only thing that I'd be concerned about is just getting stuck in that rabbit hole of, it's just easy to say yes and sign the papers and pay, rather than try to see if you can get a better pricing structure for the same service from somebody else, from another purveyor, you know?
I'm not sure if there are other entities that
Right, other than Charter, I don't know who's able to service Tamworth.
Can you explain quickly what they do under the contract? You know, what's the contract for?
I mean, I'm not an expert in, I did actually speak with Pam Hearn about this, who's part of the Carroll County Communications District. They're the ones that go out, how recently Fidium came to town. And she couldn't offer me much information either. It's kind of like, Charter's the main company that services this area, and I would think that we'd be pursued by others if it was an option. But other than holding the public hearing, I don't know that there's much we're
How long
obligated
is this
to.
contract for?
3 years?
And what is the annual fee?
2%.
we don't pay them, they pay
No,
us.
they pay us.
We get $4,000 a year
Okay,
Yeah,
from them.
it's basically the agreement that Tamworth allows them to service our residents.
right.
Just get a kickback.
And how many people are on that?
I don't know.
Okay.
What service do they provide?
Charter Communications, it's in the cable and internet services.
Yeah.
So they have exclusive access to customers in town, and that's what the contract is for.
Right.
Yes, Ed?
Just to add some added information. A cable franchise agreement is a contract between the local government and the cable provider that allows the provider to use the public right-of-way to deliver cable TV and internet. So you're getting paid to allow them to use the right-of-way. That's the reason why.
Yeah.
Right, which is why I'm saying, I don't think it's not like we shop around. They're paying us for something that they're entitled to do.
And are they related to the Fidium? Fidium, when Fidium puts up infrastructure, is that part of Charter, do we know?
That I don't know,
No, it's not.
no.
Charter also go by the name of Spectrum, so some people might have cable through Spectrum. Cable doesn't come up to my house, so I had never heard of Spectrum. But some people may have Spectrum, but Fidium is a different entity.
Makes sense.
Any other questions?
Technically, since there's Charter Communications or Spectrum and the Fidium, I don't know why you wouldn't get franchise agreement from both.
A franchise agreement with Fidium?
Yeah, if they're going to use your right of way, I would say they would.
I don't know that Fidium uses
I thought they were the ones
Yeah,
that-
they strung it up.
Yeah.
I'll just ask about it.
Yeah, we should
Yeah,
look
well,
into that.
Thank you for taking my comment.
Yeah. Are there any other comments?
Jim's looking at it.
Way more questions than I was expecting. I really didn't think this one.
All right, then I make a motion to close the public hearing regarding the franchise agreement with Charter.
Second.
Roll call vote.
You say yes?
Woody, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Roberts, yes.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
May I just ask how much the town actually receives in line for that
$4,000.
annually?
And, yeah,
Okay, so if more customers are on it, you'll get more.
Yeah.
right.
It's 2%.
It's 2%, right.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move to new business and department head update with our road agent, Richard Roberts.
Good. Had a pretty good summer. We did a bunch of under drain on Brown Hill and Pease Hill, places that we have a lot of trouble in the spring with the water not getting out of there. Replaced some culverts up there. Did a lot of roadside cleaning, the bank ends to make it so in the wintertime, get rid of snow. And that's one place, like the bark from the transfer station, we use that. Plus what we have at the shop when we chip in the wintertime with the chipper, we use a lot of that. Been behind Coral Lake, doing a lot of ditching up there, put stone ditches in. We had one of the guys do a little bit of mowing the last couple of weeks, get started on that. Did quite a bit of, a little lot, some hand mowing too, some places we can't do with the machines. They came in and paved Turkey Street, the upper end of Turkey Street, got that shouldered out. We screened some sand at the garage, and then we hauled some over from Coleman's off of the Maple Road pit, and we're all done with that too. Got that all done. Projects coming up, I'm hoping here in the next month or so to start repairing the culverts on Washington Hill Road from McGregor Hill Road down. There's 8 or 10 of them that need to be done. That is hopefully the next place that we're going to start on those. And the update on the bridge on Depot Road is we're still waiting for permits from the state. And as soon as we get that, it'll be a go. And as soon as we have an update, I'll tell you folks. Okay?
I had a question from Kathy Paget. We were just doing our CIP meeting, and she said that the school bus route for Depot Road, they might need to know if it's going to be interfere with.
See, that was the whole thing. We wanted to get the permits and do it this summer because we was going to do it in August. You know, if the project, if we do it, it's going to be shut down for a couple of weeks. And then they would have to figure it out. If we do it this fall.
Okay.
And right now, it's not looking very good.
For the
Waiting
fall.
waiting for the permit. So if we don't, what we do is wait and do it in August next year when the water's the lowest and plus when there's no buses going over it.
Okay. Okay, so once we know more, do I communicate that with the school district? Or?
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
We'll work that out, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that's really the last thing I wanted to do. That's why I wanted to try to do it
Yeah.
right from the end of July into August.
Okay.
But, yeah, I don't have anything else unless you guys have anything or anybody has any questions.
No. think we're,
That's what you do.
yeah,
Good, thank you guys.
look great.
This is Maureen Diamond. May I ask a question of the
Yes.
agent?
Go ahead.
Hi, Richard.
How are you?
We have there's a tree that I noticed on the north side of Page Hill Road between our driveway, 665, and Michael Rich's driveway, 631, that's broken about 20 feet off the ground, and the upper portion is tilting towards the wires. I plan to call Eversource about that tomorrow. Is that the right thing to do?
That's the thing to do, and I can reach out to him too, okay?
Okay, I'll give him a call
yeah.
and I'll let you know what happens.
Yeah, and just get back to me, and I'll also reach out to him too, because I got another one they've got to look at.
Great, thank you so much.
All right, have a good night.
Any other questions for Richard? Okay.
Thank you guys.
Thanks
Have a
for
good night.
coming, Richard.
Appreciate
Have a
it.
good night. And next on the agenda is Building and Grounds with Rick Moreau.
Hello, everybody. Where to begin? First of all, with the way of the heat and no rain and everything, I apologize for the condition of the fields. They're horrible, especially with soccer coming up, but we'll do what we can. Speak on a few things that have been accomplished. We got a new deck out front, which I briefed you on, I think, last time. We went to go ahead with some minor repairs and it turned into a can of worms, so not being quite substantial, but we got ourselves a nice deck out there. It'll last for many years. Police station as well. We had some rot work, which went a little further than we expected once we opened it up. The interior sheathing all the way to the inside walls. So we took care of that, and we actually have that contracted out for paint this fall. So that's really big. Hopefully we can get that painted by October, I think was our time frame on that. Solar panels will be going on the library starting tomorrow as well, just so everybody knows. That's kind of really not a lot to do with me. I just got to give them access to the building and stuff. So that'll be happening the next few days. What else have I got for you?
Rick, I was hoping you, well, actually, especially too, while Gabrielle's here for the energy committee, we were
Right,
talking
right.
about the heat recovery ventilators for this building, which we encumbered funds from last year to do it this year. If you remember back when the library put theirs in, you folks wanted to see their electric cost comparison. We were able to do 6 months. I put it in your agenda prep. Looked like there was a positive return as far as the propane goes, but the electric was a lot higher.
The electric spiked over $1,000. We saved about $500 in propane, but we spiked $1,300 in electric over a 6-month period.
So before we scheduled to do that here, I didn't know if that was still your recommendation to move forward, what you folks think. I think we had a quote for $23,000, that was from last December. I had to have Rouse come out and do give us an updated estimate, which I'm still waiting on. I expect it to be around the same price. But that was for 3 units
For
in
three,
this base
yes.
building. So.
Can I just add, we did have another contractor come and look at the library installation and also at the situation here at the town office for energy recovery ventilators. And they did find that the ERVs at the library have not been properly calibrated.
Yeah, those are getting calibrated on Friday.
Okay, Mary's not aware of that, so,
She told me today.
okay, so she must have done that today, okay, because I did talk with her
Sorry.
this morning, no, that's fine.
It just came to my
And
mind, too.
it could be the fact that they're not properly calibrated, like the airflow was completely shut down on all 3 of the ERVs that they have there, and that could make the machines be working harder than they need to be working, and therefore eating up more electricity. But the fact is that they haven't been for the first 6 months properly calibrated, and that they need to be recalibrated with a technician from the initial installer. The installation itself seems to been done well, and so there's no problem with that. They have a complicated situation that the installer had to work with, as we do somewhat here in the town office, but the independent inspector who looked at it from a separate installer said that it was done well, so it just needs to be recalibrated. So it is unfortunate we don't have full 12 months of information on that, and also a first 6 months where the calibration probably was not ideal. So potentially determining,
Yeah,
you
we're
know,
learning as we go.
almost a doubling in electricity use, which is not what you want to see.
Is the original contractor fixing that for free, I assume, and then comping us back for anything?
I'm not sure, Steve, I wouldn't know how to answer that. I would imagine it would be, if anything, a service call, but I would think would be on them, it's an adjustment.
I guess we'll see what happens when they do it.
Right, depends on what the contract
Right.
was originally, the details.
True.
So there's that, and we're still waiting on the updated contract. I can't remember the gentleman you had when you were with me, but I didn't see that one either. But, he had recommended putting them between the drop ceiling and the attic floor. Raoul still wants to put them upstairs with the furnaces, which eventually.
So unfortunately, we're kind of up against like a time frame with
Because
this.
it's September,
Yeah, we had encumbered these funds for energy improvements. And either we want to move forward with this project, or if there's,
Well, we were
Another-
exploring other options of what we could do in that time frame, like where can we use this money? I came up with a lighting plan, but unfortunately it was an incentive, so it's gonna cost us $100 versus $8,000, so that kind of went out the
Which is
window.
good.
But we're gonna move forward on that with your permit, I'll review it with you. But yeah, and worst case scenario, we could always put furnaces over with the old townhouse. I mean, those things are ancient, so there's always that to think about. And that could fall in another category as well, but
Yeah,
I'm just looking for places to use
right.
the money we allocated for.
And if I can, just from the Energy Committee standpoint, the energy recovery ventilators, it's really a health concern for the town office, the people who are working in it, bringing in fresh air, doing so in a way that's energy efficient. It's not intended to be an energy savings, so the Energy Committee isn't, is somewhat agnostic as to whether you do that. It's more of a air quality of work conditions for people working in the building.
Right.
If there are higher, better uses for those funds, we couldn't, we wouldn't be saying like, yes, you're gonna be getting energy savings out of these. We can't confirm that, yeah.
And Richard, we exhausted our Moose Fund, right?
yeah, that's.
Yep.
Yeah, because we had talked about maybe we could do some more windows with some of that money. I don't
Yeah,
know if that's possible.
We're a little over on the grant
Okay.
because the cost, the windows are in worse shape than we thought.
Mhm.
So, so the grant did not fully fund the windows we did. We did less windows than we had planned, so we didn't go over too much.
Well, I don't think we're ready to make a decision tonight.
Right, so yeah, we don't need to make a decision tonight, but just know that it is kind of coming up in the
Yeah.
next few months, we need to make a decision. This is kind of unique funds because 8,000 of which was in our operating budget that we encumbered for energy improvements, and 15,000 was left from ARPA. ARPA did make it clear, so the funds had to be obligated by the end of last year. ARPA funds you can change as long as it's within the same realm of the category of what the intended obligation was for. So energy improvements is okay, but we couldn't just take this money and
Yeah.
spend it on anything.
Buy
It
a
would have
truck.
to be energy improvements on town buildings, so,
Okay.
okay. Anything else, Rick?
Yeah, and I'm probably forgetting 9 million things, but yeah, that's like the biggest.
Okay.
I gave, again, that'll go when we start talking that stuff, and I'll give you something else. But yeah, still researching other ways with Gabrielle
Good.
on her end, so.
All right, thanks, Rick. And now we will hear from Gabrielle Watson about the charging station bid review.
Right, and so I think you have copies of the information that I prepared to talk about the 3 bids that we got on the EV charging stations. As you remember, we solicited bids through a request for bids, and we got 3 of them. They range in the price by about 10,000 each, from a low of 14,300 to a high of 35,600 and change. The Energy Committee analyzed the bids, and we've developed a comparison sheet which you have in front of you, comparing various factors in the bids for your consideration. The Energy Committee intends to request full funding from the Tamworth Foundation for the cost of the electric vehicle charger installation and initial operation. Their due date is September 1st, so that's coming right up. And we expect, based on past experience with them, that we would hear from the foundation by the end of September or so. Today, what we'd like to ask the select board is to authorize us to seek private funding for the EV chargers for full cost of installing and commissioning the EV charging stations, and also for the select board to select a preferred EV vendor. So in the comparison chart that we've provided, you'll see that we highlight a couple of key differences: the type of charger that they're proposing, the price of their bid, and a number of distinguishing details about their bid. I think all 3 of them are competent bidders from our review, but as I said, the bids range. There's a difference of about $10,000, well, $20,000 total from the high to the low. It's important to remember that the ongoing costs of electricity and maintenance and network and dashboard fees to maintain the chargers themselves will be recovered from the users of the chargers. So it's really the initial installation charge that we're looking at right now. And the key factors that we should be paying attention to are company reputation, the uptime of the EV chargers, what's their reputation for being up, like if you want to go charge, it's going to be working, and of course the cost. So based on our analysis of those 3 key considerations, the Energy Committee is recommending Guardian Energy Management Solutions, which is not the lowest bid, but it is an experienced EV charging station installer, and they're coming in with a proposal for some hardware that has a very high uptime reputation. The other two bids were contacted to get uptime information about their hardware, and they were not able to provide us with that information, so we felt more confident with the one that has a proven track record. The Guardian Energy has installed EV chargers at Loon Mountain, so they've worked locally and have a good reputation locally, and they offer a turnkey solution, so they're coming in with their own electricians, their own physical concrete pad and bollard installation and equipment, and they do the setup with the town to get the chargers up and running and establish our dashboard so that we can see who's charging when, how much, and all that. So they're turnkey, which is appealing to us since we don't have staff to do that kind of thing. One of the differentiators between Guardian and the other two is that they're proposing a sort of a more modest powered EV charger, so that you can't come in with a Tesla Cybertruck and charge it in 15 minutes. You're going to be doing a sort of more gradual charge, which is more appropriate for the use of the town. People spending a couple hours at the farmer's market, a couple hours at the library, coming to visit the town office, maybe going to watch a show at the theater. It's more of a destination charge purpose as opposed to a rapid charge purpose, where like I want to come in and I want to charge really quick and then get out. No, they're going to spend some time in town. And so the smaller charge also, or the smaller capacity of the chargers also means that they're going to be using less of our electric panel in order to power the chargers, leaving more excess capacity on our panel if we want to do upgrades to other things in the town office in the future. So that seems prudent. The other differentiator is they have a 25-foot charging cord as opposed to 18-foot charging cord. Sometimes that can be an impediment to people wanting to charge if their charge port is in a different configuration on the vehicle. 25 feet usually allows any vehicle to be able to charge, and they're using a fairly universal charger. So it seemed like overall a very competent company with local experience, offering what's a more right-sized kind of configuration for what our town needs are.
Okay. So you need a couple of motions. One to approve that, your choice, your preference.
If you agree. And we can talk about the other two as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the use of Guardian Energy Management Solutions to install the EV ports.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Did you say yes?
Barry, yes.
Schaefer, no.
Roberts, no.
Okay.
I don't know what happens when we have
2 no is a no.
Motion
fails.
Motion fails.
Okay.
I'll make a second motion. That the select board authorizes the Energy Committee to seek grant funding for EV charging stations from the Tamworth Foundation.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call vote.
Did you say yes?
Barry, yes.
Schaefer, no.
Roberts, no.
Okay.
So the next thing we could do is take it up our next meeting when we have a full contingent of members.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for coming and presenting.
And we'll move on to Energy Management Deputy Appointment. Dana Cullen has found a suitable deputy and would like the Select Board to appoint Josh Sandall as a deputy EMD. Josh is an Ospey firefighter, EMT, and extensive background in grant management. If so moved, please make the following motion. I motion to appoint Josh Sandall as a deputy emergency management director, effective immediately upon being sworn in.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Did you say yes?
Fair yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Roberts, yes.
Oh, did I skip something? I
Yep.
did. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, that motion passes. All right, having done that, we'll go back in the agenda to the Chicago Route 16 corridor with Judith Reardon.
Thanks very much, and the first thing that I wanted to say, and I need to stand up if you can hear me okay, is that I consider New Hampshire DOT to be our common enemy between the Select Board and the Community Association. There's all sorts of frustrating things about their decisions and their communication and all of that. John Gotchen, who's here with me, found a recent DOT publication on their website, and I marked it up and brought it for you and scanned it because it's called the Highway Safety Improvement Plan, and one of the things to jump from a lot of things I could say about it that would take time to one of the interesting factors is they do recommend and support road study plans because that allows for public input and local input and so forth. And as I understand it, the board decided in February that they would wait for that road study plan before doing anything about repainting the crosswalks in Chicorowa. Our current, what people are saying currently from John's contacts at DOT and Mark McConkey are that that road study process will take quite a while. They thought they would begin analyzing it this fall, but they've got their 10-year plan for 2027 through 2036 that they just finished. They want to do public meetings about that, and they're short-staffed, and so kind of looks like the crosswalks could be painted and the paint could wear off again before the road study process is done. I know one of the concerns is that letter from 2022 that from William Lambert, who was a safety coordinator back then, that and is still a person you have contact with in DOT, that if the town, if when DOT decides they're studying something, I don't know if it would be part of this road study that I just was talking about, but at some point DOT might decide that the crosswalks needed one of those RFBs, push button to cross type of lights, which are very expensive and really seem like total overkill there. the crosswalk, in my opinion, as one of the people who actually uses it, works really well. To just have something that's white on the pavement and you stand there at the accessible metal plate that goes out to the road and people actually stop and you cross the road. But the more it's an invisible crosswalk, and the one south of it at the intersection and the one across to the G3, the more those are invisible, the less they're going to work. DOT says they're concerned about fatalities, and they've got to get their fatality rate down from 100 per year throughout the state to a lower number, and they've got to get their serious injuries down from 500 per state for the whole state per year. And that they don't, this is their big priority because it's their big funding source from a federal road safety program that wants to see those numbers come down. Therefore, it seems to really skew their priorities. Something has told them that these beacons work, the push button things work to prevent fatalities, but the statistics are so small that it's not impressive to me. And I really think that in some controversy where they really thought that the beacon had to go in or the crosswalk had to come out, it would, I'm almost 98% sure that legally they would not have the authority to make the crosswalk come out. So,
Can I
yes, please.
just step in? I came and talked to the select board some months ago about the crosswalks in the village, and at that meeting, I was told that the repainting of the crosswalks had been left to the discretion of the road agent. And I'm sorry Richard left earlier, but then a more recent communication from Richard was he indicated that the directive of the select board was to not repaint the existing crosswalks. And so if we could clarify that, where do things stand with the road agent and the painting of the crosswalks?
The way I understood it, we were using Richard's input to make that decision. That he didn't really want to do it, and didn't want to spend the money and the time. We can't even get the state to paint the crosswalk by the school. So, and that 113 is going to be hard enough if we're forced to paint that one, but painting a crosswalk on Route 16 ends up being kind of a project. I mean, you have to close one lane for long enough for the paint to dry.
They're liable for it. Right, they were liable.
Yeah, isn't there was either some financial responsibility or
The chief was looking into the school. He said if we paint it, the state said if we paint it, it's ours now from time immemorial.
It is, the pedestrian safety is on on our.
If the town paints the one at the school, that it's obligated to paint it.
We own painting it.
Oh,
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I thought the bigger reason that the board discussed last time you were here, John, was that while the state is doing their Route 16 safety study between Wakefield to Albany, that we were gonna wait to see what they're coming up with, what that.
Yeah.
So my second question is,
Yeah.
did the state say that that the town is no longer being held to the agreement that was made at the conclusion of the projects in Shikara Village?
Repeat that, please, sorry.
At the conclusion of the projects in Shikara Village, the select board signed an agreement that they would maintain the improvements that were made in Shikara Village. And so the obligation is to maintain those, and that's a whole variety of, a variety of things that were installed at that time in the two phases that happened. So my understanding from talking with Willie Farnham, who was on the select board at that point, and one of the signers, that's your obligation, to maintain what's there. That agreement did not obligate you to upgrade what's there, but it obligates you to maintain obligates the town to maintain the improvements that were made at that time. I don't know, so that's my understanding. If you fail to maintain those, I don't know where things stand, but that agreement does not obligate the town to upgrade what's there.
No, and they had made, so from my understanding was that crosswalks are always on we're obligated to maintain them because it's considered pedestrian. It's our responsibility, it's not the state's. So when I remember finding that letter from a couple of years ago stating that in their inspection they said that our options were to either eliminate that crosswalk, or their recommendation would be, if we wanted to keep it, maintain it, and their recommendation was to do the flashing beacons. So that, and where we stood was that we opted to not maintain it, to let it essentially dissolve and wait until they were doing their study to revisit if we wanted to reinstall.
Do we know what this agreement to maintain the Chicoro, this is obviously before my time, but do we know
That
what
was
the
through
agreement is?
That was through a grant, correct? There was it was part of the grant that we had to, like with the lights that stay on in Shore, like you have to keep the lights on. There's different stuff. I don't know. I'm just thinking of.
Snow below the sidewalk.
Sidewalks.
Everything that was paid for with the grant, in which includes the crosswalks, had to be, the town had to agree to maintain that in order to get the grant to construct that.
It was a municipally managed project at that time. It wasn't, you're using the word grant, we had a number of, funds came from a number of sources, but back they, at that time, what's the term? We had Congress people that, what am I trying to think of?
Is it an earmark?
Earmark funds.
Oh,
So
I see.
all came through New Hampshire DOT, and there was, the town had its percentage that, was obligated as part of that, but, yeah, so at the conclusion of that, it was the agreement was made that the town was obligated to maintain, not obligated to upgrade.
And ironically, one of the penalties in the contract is if the town doesn't maintain it, the state could lose some of its highway funds.
That'd
So
be terrible.
that, again, gets this cross battle going between what DOT's saying, what town's saying.
What are you here to propose? That we should paint the crosswalk?
Correct.
Let's get to the point.
We are interested in seeing them stay there. I'd make the point that the crosswalks are there, the whole issue, the whole point of doing the town projects was to create an atmosphere in the village that calms traffic going through there. And so the crosswalks are crosswalks, people do use those crosswalks, but they're also part of the visual experience for drivers coming through there, to be aware that there's other things in the world other than going down your north or southbound lane. Mm-hmm. We've had a couple of accidents in June that have emphasized that for us. They were a hair's breadth away from being much more serious than they were, but we think it's important that they be maintained, and that the town not be failing to keep up their part of the bargain.
Now, when you say maintained, repainted.
Repainted.
For
And
the
when I was,
crosswalks, yes.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
Put back
when
in.
I was
This is a
talking to
total of
Richard,
3, correct?
Roberts fairly
It's actually
recently.
4, but the one in front of the post office is fairly intact.
And then on the 113 corner, crossing 16, and then
Cross 113
and the one across
Street.
113
to
on
the former convenient, for the future for
on the
convenience
east side.
store.
Yes. Yeah, I
And-
think there's only 3.
I think we need to meet with the road agent and budget for it, because I don't think it's been budgeted for. I understand the issue of federal grant assurances. I used to live in that world. And so let's meet with the road agent. It's not gonna happen tomorrow. It's probably gonna be budgeted for next year at the earliest, is my guess.
I wasn't expecting it to happen tomorrow.
But if we've got a crosswalk and it's our legal responsibility to maintain it, then we should maintain it.
And I wanted to plead on behalf of Chikorowa Village that maybe we're like the Donbas region of Ukraine, that the Russians, the DOT, have already invaded a great deal of Chikorowa. And, maybe somebody may rather not have Chikorowa be part of Tamworth, but
Maybe Madison would try to invade and take us over and take Chicoro. I don't know.
that's a thought, yeah.
Cheap
But-
taxes over there, I'll take that. I don't have to go to Madison.
But, yeah,
All right.
anything you can do,
But we should make sure that's,
Yeah.
whatever our obligations are should be in the road agent's budget for next year.
I'm glad to just make a statement about, I'm really glad that there's a traffic safety committee that the select board has. I'd just like to, I know not everything can be on the front burner at the same time, but there's more to the town than Tamworth Village. And it's important to keep these other things, so that they don't get forgotten and lost.
Well, thanks for bringing that contract to our attention.
Yeah.
Did you send that to me?
Yeah, I do have a copy of the maintenance contract, and I do have this DOT report. I can,
Sure, I'll take a hard copy, or if you want to email
Yep.
it to me, it's just either way.
yeah, whichever you'd rather. or
Email's
both.
great.
Okay,
because that
good,
way-
then you don't have to juggle paper.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, that will be addressed. And now we'll go to the Tamworth Village Traffic Committee update from me. So we have a recommendation for the select board as far as repainting parking spaces in Tamworth Village and installing a painted crosswalk from the library to the access road of this parking area. As far as repainting the parking stripes across the road, right now people pull their cars in right up to the porch, which means that if you're walking from the library to the bakery or the other way around, you have to walk out into the middle of the street to do it. And in the winter particularly, it's dangerous, but dangerous any time of year. So we propose to move those granite parking blocks 4 feet away from the porch to create a walkway through there in front of the cars. So when the stripes get painted, they would be that much further out into the street, but be a way to walk through the village without going in the middle of the street.
How much is that gonna reduce
The
right of way for the
right of way, well, the way I understand it, the people who are interested in the right of way like to have at least 12 feet per travel lane. And there would still be, between the parking stripes in front of the town office and the parking stripes in front of the Lyceum, there would still be 27 to 30 feet. So
Would the striping in front of the Lyceum be diagonal or perpendicular?
It turns out that the diagonal striping, which was an original idea, doesn't really save enough enough space to make it worthwhile. That would be terribly inconvenient if you had to go around the utility pole to come into the parking spaces. I'm joking a little bit, but I think we hear some pushback about that. So now, if you leave them nose in the way they are, you can approach them from either direction.
It's going to be hard to just clear the snow that comes off the roof of the Lyceum.
Well,
That's
the
hard
agreement,
part.
I've spoken to the owners of the Lyceum, and they are going to install the snow stop, whatever you want to call them. They used to be called snowbirds, but now they're not birds. So keep the snow from sliding off that porch. Yeah, the winter clearing the snow will be an issue. But we just felt that the situation as is was untenable, unsafe. So when speaking to the road agent about it and the police chief about it, they were both okay with that proposal. The road agent thought that he probably had that money in his budget already as far as doing that painting.
I'm not sure what the committee's kind of bigger picture is. I'm sure you have lots of different things that you're exploring, but would this fall in line with like the overall, vision for downtown?
Yeah, the overall vision would involve a sidewalk from the Unitarian Church to the townhouse, and it would involve getting a four-way stop at the intersection of 113 and Main Street, and things. But those are projects that will take years. And this painting project seemed like it was something we could do quickly and really wouldn't affect any future improvements.
So it falls in line. It's not like you'd be doing something that you have to undo later or
No.
refer on to. Okay. Are you taking public comment? Did you raise your hand, Mark?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
No,
thought
no,
you
no.
raised your hand.
So, I would make a motion to approve those painting projects in Tamworth Village that I've described, with the road agent claiming that he can use money from his budget to pay for them.
Second.
Any discussion?
Are we sure this is going to give us the impact that we're hoping it's going to?
Well, it will give people a walkway in front of the cars, so you don't have to go into the street to. And having a crosswalk here will also calm traffic the way that Chicago Village people would like it to do in Chicago. And you can even put one of those pylons in it saying, "State law, yield to pedestrians and
Yeah,
crosswalks."
we're comparing tomatoes and oranges, I think. I don't know. I mean, this is not Route 16.
Right, no, this,
Yeah.
on a Monday morning, the village is essentially deserted.
Right, so it would be then like Friday afternoon, no one cares about where they're walking, they just walk down the middle of the street like it's, a regular walk.
Well, there will be some of that, but having a crosswalk might encourage people to use it, and
We could have police enforce the crosswalk.
that's true, we could.
Jaywalk.
Jaywalking tickets.
Jaywalking tickets.
So where exactly would the crosswalk be? From the library to?
Well, we don't want to remove the last parking space in front of the town
Okay.
office, so it would actually be a crosswalk to nowhere. It would be a crosswalk if you come straight across. So we have this travel lane coming from the parking area to the street. It would end in that travel lane,
Oh, it wouldn't be from like
curb to curb.
the curb?
No,
Why not?
because you'd be eliminating a parking space and everybody says there's not enough parking.
Huh.
I feel like I personally like to digest more of what's going on and talk with the road agent. And I'd like to talk to the road agent at the same time that we're talking about the Chicoro Village, because if we have the money to do some crosswalks, it seems like, to me, putting crosswalks in 16, across 16 in Chicoro would be a better use of our money than a crosswalk that goes to nowhere.
All right.
I wonder if a visual would help too, because does your committee have the ability to do kind of like a bird's eye view layout? Because it's hard to picture how much narrower it's gonna make this Main Street.
Because I know when you drive down there now and there's a pickup truck with a full-length bed,
Yeah.
it's hanging out in the street.
Yeah.
That's my concern is, I would agree,
What would
a
you have to
walkway is
do,
needed.
what would you have to do to avoid that pickup truck?
You go further,
You probably have to slow down and go around it.
yeah. Yeah.
And
It's just
with-
surprising
with
there's still
27 feet between,
it doesn't look like that much, but if, it's more than I thought.
yeah.
Well, handicap spots, Carl.
But, so, right now, there's a handicap spot, there's a sign on the corner post of the porch on the Lyceum. And in talking to Mary at the library, she would like the handicap spot on that side to be closer to their entrance to the library. So we take that sign down and move the handicap spot to the last one on that row, right beside the entrance to the library.
The parallel spot.
Yeah. No, well, it'd be nose
The
end.
hit nose.
Actually, nosing
They
in by
wouldn't
the
be
library.
paralleling anymore there, though, right?
But right now it's parallel, right?
Right. Right now, yeah.
Oh, it is, okay. There would be a total of 9 from the alleyway
Okay.
to the library of nose end. As far as number of parking spaces, between Greg's Way and the library, we have 60 parking spaces.
Wow.
If you, oh,
Okay, I was gonna say.
when people say there's not enough parking in the
Yeah.
village, I say,
Yeah,
really?
it's- People always say that, everywhere I've ever lived, people say that. It's because people don't want to walk 50 yards to get there.
60, including the townhouse?
No,
I was gonna say, I was like.
no.
that
If you
should
get
be more than that,
that's
I'm not
just,
good at math. but-
just from the library to the bridge.
Yeah, okay.
I just want to apologize because
Yeah.
Becky, I didn't see your comments from earlier, but I do want to mention, because she just made a comment about Main Street. Perpendicular parking in front of the town hall with a 1-hour limit during office hours. Other than in front of the town office, parking must be parallel to the road and not obstruct traffic flow.
Which is posted.
Town office and in front of Lyceum and library parallel to the road elsewhere on Main Street. From the Tamworth Road and Traffic Policy. This policy will need to be changed to reflect any changes as parking is not being done this way now. Okay,
Didn't know we had a parking
I
policy.
didn't know we had one either.
I knew we had a policy about like overnight or during snow storms.
Yeah, out front here is posted 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah, the
part,
1 hour, yeah.
that part makes sense, yeah. Well, in that case, we'll have to change the parking policy, traffic policy.
Okay, so we can, I guess, table this and look
Yeah,
at the
let's
policy.
revisit this another day. And
Yeah,
so our traffic committee has actually walked out in the street, measured things with tape measures and measuring wheels, and then we've even parked cars and driven through town. So we've done a certain amount of research to see whether this is safe or not. And we believe it is safe and will be a lot safer for pedestrians. So, but I think we better study our Tamworth Road traffic policy and also
yeah, Becky.
give folks a chance to digest our proposal.
Sure.
Becky's just saying the traffic and road regulations policy was approved back in 2020. By making the sidewalk in front of the Lyceum, are vehicles parked in front of the town hall still able to back out safely? I would think yes,
Yeah.
that clearance is fine.
Yeah.
My vision is on Saturday mornings with the farmer's market though, people are still gonna be walking in the road and on the new sidewalk. It's just gonna be, it's gonna be a little bit of a,
Well, obviously on busy days, we can't control where people walk.
right? Yeah.
We have a hard enough time controlling where they drive, so
Yeah,
I'm not gonna try to address that.
right, so this isn't so much about busy weekends, this is every day,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, right. So people are walking in the street during Saturday mornings, but, yeah, 7 days a week, it'd be nice to be able to walk through the village without going in the middle of the street.
Gotcha.
Anyway, do I have to rescind my motion? I guess I will.
I second it.
I rescind the motion.
John had a question.
Yes,
I was just
John?
gonna say, it seems like a good, you know, if it works out, I mean, it seems reasonable to make that change, and something you can undo if it doesn't work. And, I mean, you know, we've got, who knows, in how soon you have changes in the use of the Lyceum building and possibly changes in the use of the Tamworth Inn building that may,
Right,
you know, you may need to rethink all of that again.
right. Yeah, I think the traffic committee's thinking was that painting some stripes is not as consequential as building a sidewalk. You know, it's not that hard to undo it, as you said. Yes, Judith?
And since you have all the measurements from all that modeling you did, somebody should be able to do a sketch and then all of us can absorb how it's going to be.
Yes, I have walked down the street with an engineer who has volunteered to do that work.
Great, because I think people will
Yeah.
like it once they
Right, if you can see
see
it.
it on a sketch.
Yeah, you can see it, it will work better. All right, administrators report.
Okay, kind of a hefty one. The account balance is $4,285,193. I've been working with department heads and committee members on drafting the 2026 budget. Everybody got theirs, and I've requested to come back because starting, I think our next meeting is September 9th, and then we meet weekly to review a group of budgets at a time. And just a reminder to the public that that schedule is posted to our website under the select board page, so if you're curious to attend certain meetings that review specific budgets, you can see which dates we're doing that. New Hampshire retirement employer contributions rates did go down slightly. There's still some unknown costs regarding health insurance and property liability, but I should be getting those numbers closer to October. Select board typically votes on a cost of living increase, I think September, October. I looked it up, it looks like right now it's 2.7, so I'll do a little more digging and then we can put that on maybe the agenda in September, that first meeting. So now is time for boards and committees to start thinking about warrant article submissions. So just a reminder that there's only 2 ways to get an article on the warrant at town meeting, and that's either by petition with 25 registered voter signatures or through the select board recommending it. In 2022, our unassigned fund balance, if you remember, was around 2.5 million, which was exceeding the maximum allowance that our policy calls for, which is our unassigned fund balance is supposed to be between 8 and 15% of the current year's expenditures. So I think the last 3 years that you guys were really working on it, we were using the unassigned fund balance to offset the budget. But if you remember in March at town meeting, a couple residents spoke to really wanting to see the unassigned fund balance only used in the fall to offset the tax rate and try to keep the budget basically as transparent as possible. So that's just something to think about. I did just yesterday get back our MS 535, which is the auditor's report that we submit to the DRA, which tells us our actuals for what our unassigned fund balance is. And actually, if I can just share my screen. Am I doing it? I think. You guys seem.
No, yeah.
What am I doing?
close that window. And then the bottom left.
This
Yep.
share?
Yep. Just hit the green button.
Oh. That's
Then
what happened.
choose share, right next to your mouse.
Right here.
Now you're sharing your screen.
Okay, great, thank you. I just wanted to show you where our unassigned bound balance kind of stands right now. So this is the total 2025 expenditures. So between 8 and 15% would be this range. According to the MS 535 that we just got back, our actual audited unassigned fund balance was 2.6. If you remember, in 2025, we used exactly $611,514 to offset the budget, which means in 2025, our unassigned fund balance should be right around $2,008,245, which still exceeds our maximum allowance. So the minimum of surplus that we want to use to offset the tax rate is $182,000. So, I mean, that's a good thing. That means we have money to play with in the fall when we go to hopefully reduce the tax rate. But it's also just something to think of that as we are, the idea is tightening the budget, which we attempted to do last year, and we did a good job cutting it. It's just not letting so much roll over every year. Kind of keep this nice balance. So I guess we're in good shape. And we'll be doing that closer to the end of October once I have all the correct forms I need. But you'll see in the signature file is the MS 535. You guys need to sign that so that I can then upload it to the DRA portal. And then we go to setting the tax rate from there. What else did I want to report on? I attended the New Hampshire Municipal Association budget training session last week, which was really informative, and my goal this year is to make the budget process smooth and transparent, just like last year. So I think it went really well last year, where we really encouraged a lot of public input and questions in the meetings leading up to the budget hearing. So I'll try to do that again. And then lastly, Michaela's doing great, and she's actually attending the Municipal Association every 2 years offers a free finance certificate program. It's 6 weeks of training. She goes 1 day a week for 6 weeks down to Concord, and so she'll be going through that. So I'll just be covering the office, but that hasn't been a challenge yet. So that's just my update.
Thank you. We'll move to the select board update. Want to start, Richard?
Sure. I've had some emails back and forth with HEB on the layout for recycling building at the transfer station, and Carl and I and Emily had a phone call with HEB this afternoon. So we've had a few iterations of the plan. I have one hard copy here. Rick, maybe if you're interested, you can take that one. Sure. So essentially, surprisingly, it looks like there's enough room where the brush pile is for a recycling building and the containers for storage of bales and a loading dock to get the bales up into a tractor trailer and a place for the tractor trailer to pull up to the loading dock. I had assumed that the container for bale storage would be on the slab, but it looks like there's enough room there. It would require some more improving that dirt area to make it good gravel, and also a little bit of tree clearing in the corner just past the can shack. There's one big dead white pine tree that needs to come down anyway, so right in that area to enlarge and make a gravel pad so that you could fit a 20 by 60 building and a loading dock and a 40 by 40 space for containers to store bales. So we're still working on the details, but it's coming together, and my hope is that we'll get enough of a design to put it out to bid in the next month or so that we can get bids by the end of the year and see if we can afford to build it. So things are coming along well. And I emailed that today to Brian Gillespie. I'm gonna try to go meet with him tomorrow. The engineer and the architect had some ideas about layout of the building that I had never thought of, so that was interesting. Like people coming in the front of the building and moving loose material out the back through garage doors in the back, which I hadn't thought of, which I think Carl and I agreed it's getting a little too complicated. It's simply just have a big garage doors in the front. Everybody comes and goes in the front, and there's no moving of material until it's closed to the public, and then you can move the material around. So it's good to get some new ideas, but we don't need a complicated situation with the volume of material we have and also the staffing that we have. A couple of things that we do need to confirm is very basic stuff like how much volume of a pile of aluminum cans do you need to make a bale? Because you don't want to start baling until you know you have enough to bale, because you're going to be tying up the baler once you start loading it. And also little things like how high should the garage doors be? They're very expensive 18-foot wide garage doors. Don't make them 20 feet tall if you don't need them 20 feet tall. So I'm gathering information on those kind of limits so that when the design is complete, it's as tight as it needs to be. So it was a good phone call with HEB today, and the architect as well. That's all I got.
Okay. That's all I've got.
Okay. Richard, thanks for sending those plans over. I did want to talk about, and maybe we can do that some other time at the transfer station, some design thoughts that I had. But
Okay.
Appreciate the layout, looks great. Other than that, small win, the pressure washer is now running at the transfer station because we have water, and so Brian has been working hard at removing decades
20 years.
of grime that has not been taken off. We can see concrete in places again. We didn't know we had concrete, so that's been exciting. Still working through the container replacement. Trying to get rid of some of those Swiss cheese containers that people might have noticed that there was no ability to throw glass out this weekend because the glass container was full. Still fighting with waste management a little bit on some logistics, but other than that, things are rolling right along. That's it for me.
Nothing for me this week. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
I do have a select board update from Leanne.
Oh, yeah.
To read. She's sorry she couldn't be here tonight. Police social work position. Last week they interviewed with a team consisting of Julie Lenoy, who's the director of TCNA, Cheryl Power, who's a longtime Tamworth resident, and Chief Littlefield. They met with two strong candidates for the position. They had 19 applications, which were then divided to 3 base tiers on experience, disposition, and background. So they'll be processing the interviews later this week and making their first recommendation. The Brownfields report down at the Tamworth Road property. I was part of this meeting too. We met with a team from Lakes Region Planning Commission and Mark Westa, who's a landscape architect hired for this process by Novus Engineering. We discussed the report from the soil and water testing from the property, talked about past community discussions about use for this property. We're talking like 10 plus years ago. And current community needs. And then we devised a system to invite the public input around the use of this property by the town. So after this planning session, I showed the rest of the team around town so they could get a little sense of the current infrastructure and landscape of the area. So this community outreach event will take place on Monday, September 29th from 4:30 to 7 on site down at the land, so 374 Tamworth Road. We're going to be putting out lots of promotional flyers and stuff so the public knows about it. So working in conjunction with the planning board as one of its master plan steps, Andy Fisher, the planning board secretary, and Leanne will set up a barbecue so that people can join right after work with families to be part of the process without having to worry about dinner. So Mark will have printed maps of the property along with a variety of drawings which show possibilities for the land. He'll explain the process to folks as they flow in and out of the event, and people will be able to ask questions, post comments on various drawings. So we will also have areas mowed so that folks can walk around to the different parts of the property to get a sense for different possibilities. There will be activities for children so that parents can focus on the project at hand. So that's the listening session where we get a lot of community input on what they'd like to see happen at the land, with some drafted drawings for ideas and inspiration. And then the following night, September 30th, at one of our regular select board meetings, Mark and his team will present the new mock-ups of possible uses for the property using the feedback that we get from the townspeople from the night before. 2 things to remember: this community outreach is the final step in the brownfields process, completely covered by DES funding and managed by Lakes Region Planning Commission. Nothing presented on the 29th or 30th as possible constitutes any commitment to or by the town for any particular use. There is no current plan to float a bond or to expand tax dollars on any project. We're simply using the last of the grant to gather community input on planning for Tamworth's future. The 29th should be posted as a meeting, assuming that there's at least a quorum of the select board and planning board on site. So let me know if you plan to be there so we can schedule that. And Lakes Region Planning Commission is developing promotional materials and a press release, and we'll share them as soon as we get them. And in preparation for this community event and for the coming winter, Rick Moreau and Richard Roberts will visit the property, cut some trees that fell last winter, do some mowing, and inspect the buildings to make a plan for winter equipment storage. Okay, so that's everything for the brownfields. And then she said the building notification form, she'll discuss this next week. I've also been digging into the building notification form. I should have said this in my admin report, but it's since we've stopped requiring the building notification form, it's just really apparent how little we're aware of when something is built. So it happens at least twice a week where somebody comes to the office and says, I just built my house, am I supposed to do anything? Or how do I get my address assigned? And it's like, oh, thank goodness you came by, because otherwise we wouldn't know how to assess your property until our assessor comes upon it. So anyway, it's just going to be an interesting conversation. When Leanne's back, we'll have to really dig into like what our options are. But stay tuned for that.
All right. Now there's an opportunity for public input.
Hey Carl, can you hear me?
Yes.
I've got a couple questions concerning ARPA funds.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Lisa.
Well, thank you, Emily. You did mention some that were encumbered and committed.
Yeah.
But I went on the portal and I know the 2022 ARPA report was late being filed because they have to be a report has to be filed with the federal government by April 30th. And I didn't find the 2022, 2023, or 2024 report in the public portal.
I don't know which public portal you're referring to.
The one you gave me.
The one I gave you.
The same.
No.
Go ahead, Ed. You got the portal name. I can't remember the name of it.
No, sorry, Becky, their reports are uploaded. The only
Okay, I couldn't find them.
The only discrepancy is that the numbers change from a TIN, I think, to a UI number.
Yeah, UEI.
And there's discrepancy of what number was uploaded as Tamworth's official number, which I still haven't heard back if that's been corrected.
Okay.
Yeah, and I haven't either. So background, this was one of a 91A request for our reporting on ARPA funds for 2022 to 2025. And Ed realized that our identification number, there was a difference between, and it's because the Secretary of State's office changed going from one system to another. I've asked them to report back to me and make sure we did everything right and everything's okay. As far as I know, we're fine, but they haven't gotten back to me yet.
Yes, Ed?
That's not the entire story. Yes, the number system changed, but the incorrect numbers were inputted and then they were corrected, but they were never corrected after that. So the wrong number was continually used. That happened by the last administrator, put the wrong number in. She then went and put a correction in, and then that same number showed up on other reports. And that's what I had asked, that you should get that corrected, because if you're audited, there's gonna be a big confusion about what your actual number is.
So I did the most I can do, which is basically reach out to the Secretary of State, put in a ticket number saying, these are my questions. They haven't given me an answer yet, I'm sure, because they're dealing with cities that had tens of millions of dollars worth of ARPA funds, you know, to investigate, not, you know, so.
Yes, Ed?
Just add information, we're talking about the project and expenditure reports that the federal government requires to be uploaded. So it's the US Treasury.
I'm sorry, yes, US
that-
Treasury.
Not the state.
Thank you, yeah.
Thanks.
So the question I have is, you had talked about, we committed, I can't remember what you said, that we encumbered that last year, but according to the treasurer's report last year, there was still $138,725 left in that account. So I was just wondering what else we have for contracts or whatever.
I'm not sure where you're getting that number from, Becky.
Right out of the town annual report,
Town annual
or
report.
ending balance as of 2024 from the treasurer's report.
It could have been, those still could be transfer station improvement funds. There were ARPA funds that went to our transfer station improvements.
I think the septic system and the new container, ground level container, I think those were our.
And we had voted 100,000.
For the
Nope.
container, just
Container.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we bought the new container that's in the middle of the,
Yeah, the compactor, the new compactor was purchased with ARPA funds.
And I think the cost for the septic that has not been installed yet. I think that was ARPA funds as well, maybe?
Yep, that was ARPA
GW
funds.
Brooks contract.
Yeah.
I don't see how that adds up to 100 and whatever thousand, but
Yeah, I don't,
138,725 is what the ending balance was as of 2024.
and you're seeing that in our annual report?
Yeah, in your town report on page 39.
I can look into this, but
Yeah, if you just could, because it didn't make sense to me, because I knew you had encumbered a certain amount at budget hearing last year, but I didn't see where everything was contracted through to add up to that amount. That was remaining in the bank account.
could have been a chunk that went to a fire truck or something. Fire trucks and bridges eat up money real fast. Could have been there, but we'll look
Well,
into
I thought
it.
some had been committed to the fire trucks, so that's why I was surprised there was so much in, unless it was committed and paid out this year early. The only reason I'm asking is because I can vouch. The county has ran into some questions regarding how their reports were done and stuff. And when I went back in and looked at it, it says it has to be committed by contract, subcontract, or written agreement, or else the federal government can come back in and ask you for any unspent funds. That's why I was getting concerned.
yeah, I can't
It
say,
had to be done by December 2024.
yeah, I'll have to go back into my meeting minutes from December. It's coming back to me now. I do remember obligating these funds. I want to say some went to a fire truck.
That's what I was just gonna say.
I thought 100 went to a fire truck, so when I saw this, it must have been that they were paid out after the first year. That's all I'm asking.
Yes, the
Only
fire
because
truck-
The government is sending out letters now asking for their money back.
I know, yep. But no, yeah, I can get you a breakdown. I know it was in my meeting minutes somewhere.
And then my next question is I know you're starting budget hearings on September 9th. Are those departments that you're going to be discussing going to be available to the public before the meeting?
The actual budgets,
The schedule of who's coming.
For those departments as you're discussing them?
yep, yeah, I can do that. I'll post them with the agenda. How about that?
Either that or just on the select board page, I don't care.
Yeah.
As long as they're posted, so I know the first September 9th meeting, you're doing administration and a couple others. If those could just be available, the rough drafts ahead of time.
Yep.
Okay, that's it, thank you.
Sure.
Yes, Ed?
Just to go back to the, what Becky was saying, the obligated projects, that refers to the December 2024 obligated projects that you have to take a standard allowance. Did the town vote to accept the standard allowance and tell the US Treasury that's what they're gonna do?
That was when?
It had to be done before December 2024. I asked you 2 weeks ago about did Tamworth do the checkbox for the standard allowance that they're going to take.
I'm not even familiar with that phrase, standard allowance.
It's the ARPA funds. If you're going to use the ARPA funds for certain things like revenue recap and your projects, you have to have them obligated by 2024 December.
Yep.
But you have to take the standard allowance. Did you do that or not?
I do not recall ever being asked if I took the standard allowance.
Okay, well that's what Becky's talking about.
Is that what you're talking about, Becky?
Signed off.
Because the county, before December 2024, the county took the standard allowance, so any monies that they had, they could use the way they intended with obligated projects. If they didn't, it had to be returned. So I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, I'm pretty
did
sure
you
it
do
did
that?
because, yeah, and it said, was it less than, it gave me a
Correct, it
certain
was-
amount. It said, did you collect less than
It
this
was
amount?
less than 10 million.
Yes,
think it
yes,
was.
I
So you
clicked
checked.
yes, yeah.
So there was no vote of the board, you just chose it yourself.
It was,
But was there a vote to take the standard allowance to commit the funds, is what he's asking?
I thought that was, I mean, ARPA funds were well before I was in place. I mean, the funds were
No, I was
received.
there when the funds came in and we obligated 100,000, but then that was such a narrow thing, you could only use them for health and safety, for lost revenue and stuff like that. After 2022, they all changed and you could use them for anything. And then as the reporting continued for 22, 23, and 24, you were allowed to take the standard deduction if you had less than 10 million in funds. But a vote had to be taken by your board to say, yes, we will use the standard deduction to commit these funds.
She means standard allowance.
I'm pretty
Standard allowance.
I'm pretty sure that happened, and I'll have to, again, check back on meeting minutes, but when Keats was, the town administrator, that she had the board do that.
Certainly, I recall the vote to encumber the funds for specific projects. I don't remember this phrase of standard allowance, but I recall the vote.
It's basically a reporting thing, and maybe your auditors can tell you if they took the standard allowance, because they usually do the reporting financially, unless you did it yourself, that's all.
Yeah. I don't know, I don't know.
It's just important because if you don't, it's troublesome, but you may have done it already, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I just had two things
Okay?
and I'll be done. One was the EV chargers. Did I hear that correctly, that it's gonna be privately funded now? Is that what you said?
Yes,
I wanted to hear that.
the Energy Committee's plan was to seek full funding from the Tamworth Foundation.
Okay. Now, is that bid available to me somewhere? Is that
The
bid-
bids?
The bids?
Yeah.
You don't have to give it to me now, just thought.
They're here.
Yeah.
That, and then when the DOT was here and they talked about how to reconfigure the 113 and 113A, you know how they eliminated where the Unitarian churches, where you go up the.
That was one of the options, yes.
Yeah, if you really think about it, and I don't live in the town, but it would be really nice if that area could be carved out, appropriated, and you could extend that little memorial park over to that complete area right
Yeah.
there. That would be
Yeah.
a very nice entrance into downtown
Yeah.
that you could use. And then it would solve that whole problem, so you'd have that proper T that people would come to and, be able to go left and right. So
Yeah, it really
just
does,
thought that
it does
would be
make
good.
sense to do it, it's just whether DOT is, and it's a simple, relatively simple solution. No stoplight, no nothing, just put some
Four
stop
stops.
signs in the
Yeah.
ground, so.
But that park area I thought would be
Yeah.
decent, right, with that.
Yeah.
Just one other question.
Okay,
Emily, when they send you that paperwork concerning the whatever grant you want to call it, the Chicago project,
Yeah.
because they're talking about how it's the town's responsibility to maintain the crosswalks. I do believe it was the town's responsibility to also maintain that stairway that went up through that got filled in with dirt that crumbled. So if we You know which one I'm talking about, the one that walked up to the
Yeah, but
road.
was that built with part of that grant money?
Oh, yes, it was.
Oh.
Yeah, both stairways, and the other stairway is crumbling now, but the goal then to the road agent was just to fill it in with dirt and bark mulch, but we all said that we thought that was part of that. But we could never find the paperwork, so they're gonna send Emily the paperwork. She might wanna look and see if those stairways have to be maintained as well,
Okay,
as part of that funding.
all right.
Some grant conditions do not stay in perpetuity, so don't always think just because the grant said back then you had to. There may be a time limit to that.
Yeah,
They couldn't tell you in perpetuity you have to do something. I don't think.
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you for taking my extra comment.
Not to make it more conversation on that, but
Yeah, right.
who's gonna police that
Yeah.
as well? Is my
Yeah.
other question.
Yeah.
But that's just
Yeah.
my thinking.
Yeah.
Certainly I can see if you've got a crosswalk, you should paint it right.
Mhm.
But once you get past that, they can come get us if they need to.
But where does the line get drawn with maintenance? I mean, that could be just
Right.
clearing the snow and keeping it sand and
Correct.
salted like I do. That's
Right.
maintaining
Yep.
the area, not painting lines and
That's why I wanted to.
That's a
painting
broad
the railings.
statement
Right.
Yep.
about maintaining it.
It's a very generic term. Yeah.
And the stairs and stuff you're talking about, I mean, those are all eroded by the salt from the state. I mean, so if they wanna maintain it, they can
You can stop salting.
pitch in and fix it.
Any other public input? All right, we're gonna move to the signature file. Make a motion to approve the select board meeting minutes dated August 7th, 2025.
Second.
Roll call vote.
You say yes?
Very yes.
Schaefer, yes. Roberts.
Roberts, yes.
Make a motion to approve the timber yield tax levy for map 202 lot 70 for $1,742.79. Map 413 lot 18 for $235.39. Map 419 lot 1 for $498.86.
Second.
Roll call vote.
You say yes?
Very yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Roberts, yes.
I make a motion to approve the abatements for map 215 lot 49. Suppose that's sublot 5 for $157. Map 215 lot 49 sublot 94 for $42. Map 420 lot 15 sublot 21 for $144. Map 215, lot 49, sublot 90, for $520.75.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Do you say yes?
Very yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Roberts, yes.
We'd like to have it a little more clear as to whether those are sublots or what those numbers mean.
Yeah, those are for campgrounds.
Oh, those are campsites.
Yeah, and yeah, we also have strange lot numbers for like utility poles,
Oh.
things like that. So if that ever pops up,
Oh, okay. All right. I make a motion to approve the 2025 MS 535 financial report of the budget.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Do you say yes?
Very yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Roberts, yes.
Make a motion to approve the accounts payable in the amount of $474,685.81.
Second.
$400,000 is for the school payment. Roll call vote.
Do you say yes?
Very yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Roberts, yes.
Make a motion to approve the payroll in the amount of $65,005.11.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Do you say yes?
Very yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Roberts, yes.
and you'll notice there's
I've
another
got a couple
payroll
of
number.
handwritten ones here.
Thank you.
Make a motion to approve a driveway permit application for map 410, lot 32, sublot 1, access Page Hill Road.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Do you say yes?
Very yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Roberts, yes.
And I make a motion to approve a second payroll for $68,433.67.
Second.
For what?
That was last, we
We
missed a
skipped the
meeting.
meeting.
So,
We didn't have a meeting last, so we essentially had to approve 2 payrolls.
Okay.
Roll call vote.
Doucette, yes?
Barry, yes.
Schaefer.
Roberts, yes.
And that is that.
and before you adjourn, I realized regarding our franchise agreement with Charter, we held a public hearing, great, but I think you should still make a motion to approve the contract renewal. So
Oh,
if you don't mind doing that.
don't mind doing that.
I think I almost asked that when we were in the middle of it because you made the motion to adjourn. I was like, were we supposed to vote on that?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think I do.
Okay. Okay, there's the public hearing, okay. I make a motion to approve the franchise agreement between the town of Tamworth and Charter Communications. Roll call vote.
Doucette, yes?
Barry, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Roberts, yes.
Did I miss anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
One last part.
Adjournment?
Motion to
Yeah, motion to adjourn, 7:39.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.